We are talking about a Black Day and every nation getting success and independence from colonial masters. They have to pass through that, and Azerbaijanis also pay their part. And when we are talking about the post-colonial nations and colonial period, I think the Soviet colonialism was the worst of all. As Dr. Zamir Akram Saab mentioned, that they have not only attacked on the independence and resources of the country, but they have changed the culture, ethnic identity, and even the religion. That is not done by French and British, even in India and in Far East. The religion was at least secure, but here everything was questioned because they want to change and assimilate all the people into Soviet identity, and that was communist identity at that time. So it is a great struggle on the part of Azerbaijan and its people that they not only sustain their identity for 75 years, even more than that. The Bolshevik Revolution came in 1917, and after that, there was a long period that they maintained their identity and they could not compromise on that. As all colonial powers do, Soviet did with these Muslim lands, the five states. They kept them underdeveloped. Their resources were exploited only for the development of the Soviet itself. All the industry was there, and their dependence on Soviet areas was even continued after the independence, because everything was supplied from them. And that was another way to control your lands you have released by their struggle. So I think that Azerbaijan is a resilient nation like any other nation of the world is surviving that. In 1992, when the period between 89 to 92 was marked with the struggle of independence by all Soviet states. They were striving to get independence, and Azerbaijan was one of them. And we were seeing all these, you know, these scenes, very brutalities and atrocities committed by Soviets to all these lands. But one thing I noticed, that when Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, they declared their independence, they were treated brutally, and civilians were run over by tanks. And all those lethal weapons were used against the civilian population, which were even never used against the militaries during the war. But at the same time, when three Balkan states declared their independence, then there was no reaction by Soviet Union because NATO and US warned them not to take any action. So their transition to independence was smooth and swift. It means that when we say that international politics is a power politics, that is a power of interest. But when we see that we, the Muslims, are suffering, and there is a whole, very comprehensive report prepared by the Muslim Institute, and we all know that genocide is being committed in all the Muslim lands. You hardly can identify any non-Muslim states. It means that as the Crusades were formally launched against the Muslim world, this is the neo-imperialist crusade committed against the Muslims. So when we talk about our martyrs, it is not only way to remember them, it is to have reassurance to each other that whenever there would be Muslim-led suffering, we would be standing by each other because we are the strength of each other. So I think that diplomatic support and verbal support that means something. It is not, we cannot say that diplomatic supports and words are not important, but we have to go beyond that. We have to make strengthen ourselves to the level that our voice can be heard all over. And I used to say that as my personal conclusion, which I have drawn through a long journey of research and teaching. And I have supervised at least 10 theses of PhD on Central Asia and their resources and resource curse of Central Asia. I have concluded that it is to survive in the comity of nation. We have to make our house in order. We have to develop our economies. We have to strengthen our peoples to peoples relations, academic cooperation, and exchanges in the way that we can support our economies, research and development, and we can share resources with some reciprocity, obviously. But we should think in terms of making an economic and scientific interdependence among the nations having the same goals and same challenges, instead of involving any major power, because major powers partnership is never without demands. As Hillary Clinton once said, that aid is never without conditions. So major power having their relations, so in their demands. So I think that this is the right time when we acknowledge, Zamir Akram Saab mentioned, Madam Alia mentioned, my very best friend, Dr. Samina mentioned, that we are all here to observe the day of mourning, and it is a lesson to learn that we should stand together. And as you know that in 1990s, we saw in 93, I think, that ECO was expanded. And it was a cooperation between the three countries, Turkey, Iran, and Pakistan. And when the same party was in governance, the Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif actually took this initiative, and this motorway was constructed to extend it to Central Asia to have trade and cooperation with each other. This is the time to regenerate and revitalize that project as well. And we have to make all efforts to establish peace in Afghanistan, to continue the prosperity and the communication lines to Central Asia, and Central Asia to Gwadar, for having a strong economy. It is the need of the time for the people of all these countries living together and sharing so much bonds together, that even our languages are carrying hundred of words of each other, and we are having the same identity, same Naqshbandiya and other silsilas as well. So I think that as I just mentioned, His Excellency Khizr, he's here, and Sabzada Saab, he's very active in generating bonds in Muslim Ummah, and his services are always acknowledged in seminars like this. Others are not taking such initiative. Thank you very much.